Hey, Kimberly, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. Tell us who you are, what you do.
Sure. My name's Kimberly Eberl. I'm the founder and CEO of the Motion Agency. We got offices in Chicago, Cincinnati, my hometown, and Nashville. We're a full service marketing communications agency. It's funny I say full service because one thing that we do a lot of in my background is actually public relations. And I've noticed that some agencies might have one or two PR people, but we've got about 20, which is a lot. But we also do your traditional creative account work. Content is a big part of our business as well.
Very cool. And how'd you get started?
Oh, I'm one of those founders that get fired,
What'd you do?
Oh my gosh.
Was it a layoff or
I know. I was fired. I worked for a big agency. I'm not going to say their name. I have respect for them now. I didn't at the time. No. So that role at that agency just wasn't fleshed out really well. I noticed the person before me lasted a year. I lasted a year. The person after me lasted 8 months. So I don't know the expectations. Account director.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 20.
They beat the shit out of you. I mean,
Oh my God, that mid-level, you're supposed to, and I guess when you're in a small agency still, you have to do some big things and some small things. But yeah, I was lost as a puppy, I guess, and they felt the same. So I didn't last too long. I guess it lasted a year. And then I just started scrambling and looking for work. And luckily this was 2006. So economy was relatively healthy. And I just started freelancing immediately because I'm like, I got to get a real job eventually, because freelancing to me at the time, I'm like, this isn't a real job, whatever. So I was just freelancing, and that started snowballing. And all of a sudden I became at this point where I'm like, all right, this is too much work for me. So I could go, one route and just turn down work and say I'm at capacity, or go the other route and hire people to help me support the work. And I took that road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were some of the roles that you first hired to help you with that?
Again, my background originally was public relations. So a PR person is so much different than your creative agency shop, where I didn't have to hire a creative director or a designer or someone in production. It was just a PR practitioner that calls the media and deals with clients and whatnot. But as I've grown and, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, then I decided to expand my business and add more than just PR. I felt like over time I was leaving money on the table, and referring so much business away because I just had PR professionals in-house. And when I decided to not just refer business out and do websites in-house and do creative in-house, that's when the business really took off.
There's a lot of people listening that they have a specialty, right? They're accidental agency owners. They knew how to do something cool. They started designing, websites or doing social media or paid ads or whatever it is. But they are at a crossroads, kind of like you were, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out, dude, I'm leaving a lot of money on the table.
Right.
What was a mistake that you made by adding another service? Do you recall any of them?
Well, when I added the service, it was actually by acquisition. So this was around 2017, the discussion started. It was finalized in 2018. So something that I don't know if I would do again. I was a smaller agency of about 20 people, and I acquired an agency bigger than mine, of about twice the size. And so when I think about the mistakes, it was just being very green to acquiring a business that size with specialties that I didn't personally know myself. But I don't, as an owner, as you don't have to do the work necessarily. You just have to make sure that the work is high quality and being done, and the clients, so you don't, at least for me, maybe other owners are different. I'm sure they are. I'm not in the weeds as much. So it was just, I don't know if a mistake. I guess a mistake might have been buying an agency bigger than mine, but, just learning new things that I wasn't familiar with.
What was the difficult, because I don't think it's a mistake to buy an agency bigger than you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Right? I mean, I think that's because whether you're buying a smaller agency or a bigger agency, that's the same amount of work.
It is. It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Like a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to buy an agency that's just doing 500,000 in revenue, maybe 100,000 in EBITDA. right? Like that's an easy one.
Right. Yep.
And yeah, on paper it looks easy, but you still have to have lawyers, accountants. You still got to make sure that integration
is smooth. Yeah.
It's kind of like hunting, right? Like, yeah, the easy part's taking the shot. The hard part's getting it off the mountain and cleaning it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Good analogy. Yeah. No, I've actually done 5 acquisitions in my day, believe it or not. And I've experienced all those different nuances. And I agree. Even there was one agency that I acquired. It was an agency. It was just one person as an owner with a bunch of freelancers. And even that had some nuances of integrating that person into the business. And then there was the agency bigger than mine. And then all the ones in between. I feel like I had one deal that financially was terrible, but culturally and client fit was amazing. A lot of the staff is still with me. Clients are still with me. That's wonderful. And then I had an acquisition where it was financially great, extremely profitable. Culture was terrible. No one stuck with me. I have one client left from it. And, I should have seen the red flags in kind of the courting stage of the culture, and maybe I was overlooking those red flags and just thinking, oh, this will work out. And maybe they're just being a certain way because they want to put on their best, whatever. But you just can't overlook culture in an acquisition. It's one of those soft things that, maybe some people are like, well, look at the book of business, look at what I'm going to add. But if you don't operate the same way, that was terrible.
I mean, the clients, everything goes off the tracks.
Oh yeah. I still, even to this day, people, I'm lucky to have pretty good employee retention. So people that went through that are like, don't ever do that again. Don't ever, if we do another acquisition, we have to, and I don't know, Jason, maybe how you can really gut check culture when you're talking to a company you're either going to merge with or acquire. I don't know. How do you think that agencies should do that?
I think you got to hang out with the owners for a while.
Yeah.
And really figure out, you just can't ask someone about their culture, right? You have to experience it. One of the things that, because I've gone through that as well.
Yeah.
And even now, I mean, you probably go through that with clients too, if the culture is not right.
Yep.
I know we do that with our members, and it's not like we're going to say, all right, are you resourceful? Like that's one of our number one attributes, right?
Right.
When we hire someone or whatever it is, you just can't ask them. You just got to figure that out. And when we started doing the digital agency experience at my house for the first time, I told Darby, I said, I don't want anybody in that doesn't believe in what we believe in. If you will not have them at your house for 2 days or even dinner, if they don't pass that test, they don't come.
That's good advice. Yeah.
Right. And so if you can go out to dinner with them, spend the day a bunch of times, and if you're like, man, you don't want it to end, all right, now we got something.
Now we're on to something. Yeah.
And if you're like, God, I am pulling fucking teeth.
Right. Or I'm exhausted. I just need to. Yeah. 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 No, I heard that someone suggested going on a road trip with the other owner and seeing if you don't want to kill each other at the end of the road trip. Yeah.
Cool. I lost you for a second. So,
I was going to say, I heard once the advice to go on a road trip with the other owner that you want to do business with.
Yeah.
And then you can learn, because you're stuck in a car for, let's say, 4-hour road trip. You learn what kind of snacks they get on the road, you can analyze that if you want. Or, if they get aggravated in road rage, okay, if they're mad with this, what is that going to be like when we're, in some rough waters with work? I don't know.
Yeah. What snacks would be your red flag?
Oh, great question. Because I'm a sweet person. I guess if there's too much caffeine, I would wonder what's going on there, like if there's too many Red Bulls, too much coffee, if it's just that, I think would be a red flag. But, I have a little caffeine throughout the day, but if it's too much, I'd be like, okay, what's up here? Yeah.
Yeah. My go-to snack is Cheez-Its when I go in the gas.
Those are good. Those are quality.
Or Pringles, which are probably not even chips. They're probably the worst thing for you.
I know it's all sodium. It's all sodium.
Yeah. You feel like total shit afterwards.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was just this year, I was talking with someone to acquire their business. It didn't go through, but it was myself and the owner and their second in command. And we sat down for dinner here in Chicago. And the second in command ate all the bread on the table, all of it. You know how
share it.
Didn't share it. Yeah. You know, when you sit down and there's bread that's there, didn't share it, ate all the bread. I thought that was a red flag.
Yes. Or if they eat before everyone has their meal, that's a red flag for me.
Totally, 100%.
Or if they're late.
Yes, I get this from my dad. It's like, if you're not
early,
you're late.
Yep.
Yeah. Amen.
I am the same way. Like, it drives me crazy. Like, especially with all the technology we have now, or at least send a text. I'm running 5 minutes late.
Yes.
Idiot crashed in front of me. All right, cool. Like, I'm good.
I was just going to say that technology too, when things went so much into a virtual conversation, you know, it's one thing if you have to go down the hallway and grab your books and whatever that, you know, to get to a meeting. But if all you have to do is click a link, you know, the meeting starts at 1:00. This is on you. It drives me crazy too.
Yeah. I always click the link early. So I'm sitting in the waiting room.
Waiting. Yeah. Amen. I'm with you.
So did that deal not go through because he ate all the bread? What was where everything? Like, what were some of the things that why the deal didn't go through?
The deal didn't go through, honestly. It was financial. They wanted twice as much as I was willing to pay. And I have to say, I've done 5 acquisitions, and this is the first company I've talked to that the deal didn't happen.
So I want to dig in that a little bit more, because everyone thinks they're worth more than they really are.
I know. I get it. When and if I come to that place, I would, you know, this is your baby. You just don't you understand how cool I am? Look at my shirt. My God. Yeah, I get it.
How do you do your valuation?
Yeah, you know, of my 5 deals, they've all been structured differently. I'll say this last one, there were some key principles, and they weren't going to be working on the business much more. So we took out their salaries, we took out their some costs that weren't going to be reoccurring, right? And then we assigned a value to it, because just to do an EBITDA based on historical figures, I thought actually wouldn't do them any good, because there was going to be some costs removed from that business. So that's one thing. And then with this particular deal and with others, I more look in the future. Then I do look historical trends, you know, of course, if the business took a big nosedive, or if you just had one great year and the other years were not wonderful. But I definitely look at the forecast as well. But then also look at the certainty of that forecast. Actually, that deal where I bought the agency bigger than mine, the forecast, not to their fault necessarily, maybe to my naivety, was much bigger than what I thought it would be. So I spent more money than I probably should have, because some of the work really wasn't as secure in the future.
Did you do an earnout based on the forecast?
Oh, yes. I mean, to answer your question, most of them, in general speaking, there's a downstroke and an earnout. That's most of them are like that. But yes, it was an earnout based on the forecast, though, and not necessarily based on what was in the rearview mirror.
I think one of the biggest mistakes I think agency owners that are wanting to sell do are they try to make the forecast so much bigger than it really is.
Right.
And I think it hurts them, because now I'm like, you can make the forecast as big as you want. Like, if you say you're going to double or triple, fantastic. But I'm going to structure an earnout based on that.
Exactly. Right. And you're not going to get a big down payment, because that's going to really not be favorable for me, because I could be throwing away some money. But yeah, if you're saying that you're going to get $1 million from a client, and guess what? It becomes 500,000, then you suffer as much as I do, you know? Yeah.
Exactly. Are you also looking at the net profit as well? Or, because some people think, you know, their valuation is based on their gross, which I kind of chuckle a little bit, because I remember feeling that way many years ago as well.
Right. And that's what this agency that I walked away from this year did, right? Their agency was, and I'm not naming their name, so I guess it doesn't matter. But let's say it was, I'm not giving the exact numbers, it was $2 million. They thought they need $4 million as an earnout with a lot of it upfront. And it wasn't looking at their profit. And again, I did look at their profit. I was trying to be generous and removing some salaries that aren't going to come, right? And removing some expenses, even like parking expenses, things that could add up. Yeah. So that, okay, I'm estimating the profit to be X, but they just looked at their.
So you're recasting for them. You're doing all the add backs for them.
And but they still thought that they were worth, again, twice the amount of their gross revenue.
Do you feel the valuation number on EBITDA, if it's under $1 million, is less than if it's over $1 million in EBITDA?
That's an interesting question. It could be. I don't know. What do you think? It could be.
It's just kind of the rule of thumb a lot of people put on it, right? Like,
right.
When we were buying agencies, we felt if you're under $1 million in EBITDA, you really haven't gone through the paces yet.
I know.
Right? Like, and we felt like you're 1 to 2x your EBITDA.
Right.
Which then, but if you could get over the $1 million in EBITDA and you could have a specialty, you're anywhere from 4 to we've gotten people 8x.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of the time it's around 5.
Right.
Right. And then, if you can do a majority of cash, great, which not many people do.
Right. No. Yeah.
When we were buying agencies, we're doing 50% of cash. But, I tell people, if you're buying, get as least as possible. If you're selling, get as most, and be happy with that.
Be happy with it. Right. Well, and I talked to different agency owners here in Chicago just to, talk about the business of the business and have this community, which it sounds like you have as well with your agency group. And there's an agency owner that's looking to sell. And he talked to me, not necessarily to sell to me, but just to get my perspective. And the conversation didn't go far because he's around $1 million, less than $1 million-ish, but he does cash-based accounting.
Yep.
And
you'd be like, I'll give you this, but at closing, all this.
God. And he's been doing this a while. His agency's been around a while. So I was surprised that his accountant didn't correct that for him. It's one thing to do that. I mean, when I started out my business in 2006, cash-based, it was just me and a freelancer. Yeah. But when you get bigger and you have staff and whatnot, even at $1 million or less, you have to, and you're trying to sell an agency that's buying you. That's a lot of weeds to work through.
When do you think an agency should go to the accrual basis?
At least at $500,000, don't you think? I mean,
it depends on their goals too.
Yeah, true.
Some people I talk to, they never want to sell, but I'm like, don't say that, because just leave the option open. Like, build something that can sell, and you don't. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Some people want to, have a lifestyle business and they want to stay around the sides. I'm like, cool. Or they want to use this as an incubator and build technology and AI stuff and all the buzzwords and then sell that kind of stuff, since the multiples on those companies are way better.
Yeah.
Agencies. So.
Well, one trend I'm seeing with a few agency owners I know here locally, again, in the Windy City, is instead of selling, they just want to basically sit on the board, take a salary or a drawback for several years, and they technically still own the business, but someone else is running it. Do you notice that more often? I mean, maybe my eyes are just open more to it, but I'm noticing it a lot.
I actually recommend that to people more.
Yeah, it's smart. Yeah.
So my old business partners would get mad at me because I would talk to someone that was our criteria. They had to be over the $1 million in EBITDA. Mm-hmm. And so I'd talk to them. I'd be like, all right, cool. What am I missing? You're making over $1 million. You're barely working in the business.
Right.
Why do you want to sell to us?
Right. Pretty sweet gig. Yeah.
And I'm like, go, and they'll be like, oh, I want to go do something else. I'm like, you can do it now. And retain the business.
Right. And have someone else do the heavy lifting for you, and you're still there for, do you bring that owner in for big decisions over a certain dollar amount? Like, okay, if I'm doing this, I want to get your blessing on it. But other than that, they're, somewhere else.
But here's the thing. I think a lot of people are scared, especially with AI. I mean, is changing all the time.
Right.
It's changing really fast now. And people are like, are there going to be agencies in the future? And I kind of chuckle when they say that. I'm like, did you really just ask me that? Like,
yeah, I think there'll be agencies in the future for sure. I mean, we treat AI like an intern, like it's a great thing to have. It's a great tool, but we still have to work with it. We still have to modify it. We still have to prove it. We still have to customize it. It's a great brainstorming tool. I don't want to be behind the eight ball. I don't think we are, but it doesn't replace that human creativity. And especially from a client relationship standpoint, a robot can't, cement those client relationships either. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's helping our industry. I'm embracing it. I don't think it's going to replace our industry.
I think it will replace certain things and certain agencies, right? Like, and it depends on who you're going after. I feel if agencies are going after people like me that are technology advanced, small company, like I don't need an agency. I can have an AI agent, all this kind of stuff, right? And I want to talk to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So I think with me, if you're going after, and I'm not a coach, but let's just put a label on me as a coach, then I think that industry is going to struggle.
Right.
If you're going after plumbers or service-based businesses, all these different kinds of businesses, they just want to do their own lane. They don't know how all this other stuff works.
Right.
They want to know how it works, but they want someone else to manage it.
Yeah.
Right. And you're good, right? Like it's the same thing I heard when I started in 99 and everyone, saw the .com crash.
Yeah.
Right? Oh,
No, yeah.
I'm like, but it's marketing. That at the end of the day, it's marketing. It doesn't matter what kind of marketing it is. Because you remember, I mean, you started in 2006, is that right?
Yeah, but and I worked at other agencies before then. So
yeah, so you remember the cycles. Oh, I'm an agency, but then when digital came out, I'm a traditional agency.
Right.
And when digital got more, it was interactive, right? It was interactive, then digital. Now it's just agency again.
100%. We struggle with, for a while we categorized our services and one category was digital. And we're like, well, everything is digital almost. I mean, you could have a few exceptions, but so what is digital? When you do advertising, there's still digital ads. There's, so what is digital anymore when it's so omnipresent,
It's just the gurus naming the things kind of like, the, GEO or SEO, whatever you want to, CIO, whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you name it. It's at the end of the day, it's marketing.
Exactly. Well, 100%. Yeah, totally.
Well, Kimberly, this has been a lot of fun. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you think would benefit the listeners listening in?
One thing that I'd like to hang my hat on, but I still get puzzled on is based on what I know, Motion's the largest woman-owned agency in Chicago. And we are only about 70 people. And again, I'm proud of being a woman-owned agency and all that jazz. But why is it that I'm the biggest? And I'm not asking for compliments from anyone. Like, why isn't there more female agencies in Chicago or elsewhere? I know there's some bigger than me. I'm not claiming that stake. But why do some female agencies not, rise to greater growth? It doesn't mean success. Success is what you define it,
I mean, it's a great question. I know in our community about 30% are women, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah.
That is still a significantly lower
amount than the rest, right?
Than the men.
Right.
I know I didn't know that. The funny thing I tell everybody is like, I didn't know my wife had an agency for like 2 years because we never talk about work.
Okay, cool.
And so I was like, oh, you have an agent? I was like, what's this Swank Social? I was like, and then I was like, wait, Kimberly. I was like, that's my wife.
Oh yeah. Like, wait a minute, she did this. Yeah.
Yeah, and I see the hardships that she goes through, and I'm like, all right, and I'm like, but then again, I don't know.
I don't know that I feel hardships. I don't look at gender necessarily, but I do when I step back and I, analyze, I'm like, wow, why is this the case? And I don't give a shit if you're male, female, what color you are, what size you are. What I look at your person, yourself, your mind, your brains, your kindness, all that jazz. But it does just I do scratch my head sometimes, and I know a lot of female agency owners that are wonderful, but for whatever reason, they've only reached a certain scale.
Yeah, the ones that I felt that have kind of hit the ceilings, they've had kind of the motherly for their team.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. I've seen that where they'll try to hold on to anybody that has started with them. They're like, like we're family.
Yeah.
I can't get rid of them. And they have a really hard time when someone's kind of just doing the wrong thing.
No. Yeah.
I don't know if that's it.
It's a fair point.
I know men too that are, they treat it as their baby.
Yeah.
And their whole personality is associated to the agency or being an agency owner.
Exactly.
So, I think we all struggle with everything.
Oh, 100%. No, I see myself in both of those examples you gave. Sometimes I'm loyal to a fault and I'm like, well, I don't know why I hold on to this person, but I'll work through it. And I'm actually trying to get other hobbies because I do feel like sometimes I associate myself so much with my job and I don't want to work forever. So what else, I'm not going to take your podcast, Jason. What else am I going to do here? So I think about that a lot.
Yeah. Going back to the team part, I look at it as now someone explained it to me. And I wish they explained it to me at my agency because we could have been even bigger.
Yeah.
You got to kind of look at it as like an all-star team. Every year it changes.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that.
Right. And sometimes people are demoted. Some people are promoted. Some people are transferred to somewhere else where they'll actually thrive and probably do better. I know the people that I've fired have done better. I've been fired from every single job that
I've been fired too. I've been fired twice. Hey, yeah.
Oh, I've been fired over 20 times, ever since I was little. Like one summer I got fired from like 4 jobs.
And now look at you though. I mean, you've gotten through that. Yeah. But sometimes it takes someone else to be like, this is not working.
This is not for you. You need to do whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And they'll do better. Like this is not the only option. So
yeah. So I guess as we hang up, I'll go chop some heads. Huh?
Man, I feel bad now.
No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Well, Kimberly, thanks so much for coming on the show. And for everyone listening, if you guys aren't subscribed, we put out 2 shows a week of amazing guests like Kimberly. And if you want to really kind of take it to the next level, we have an amazing event coming up in Phoenix and all over the country where we're getting the best agency owners together to share what's working, what's not working. Make sure you go to elevatemyagency.com. And until next time, have a swank day. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you want more content like this, make sure you click on the link on the screen or check out your most popular podcast platform where the full episode is there. And until next time, have a swank day. What are you doing? Go check it out. Click on the link. I'll see you soon.